श्रावक के अणुव्रत समझे, जीवन को हम धन्य करें। श्रावक के अणुव्रत समझे, जीवन को हम धन्य करें। पाप तजे व्रत अपना करे, पाप तजे व्रत अपना करे। सद्गुण और पुण्य भरे, हाँ भरे। श्रावक के अणुव्रत समझे, जीवन को हम धन्य करें।
जैन टॉक्स के 106वें टॉक में मैं आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। आज हमारे साथ जैन दर्शन की विदुषी डॉक्टर प्रियदर्शना जैन जी, जो कि मद्रास यूनिवर्सिटी की एचओडी है, वो चेन्नई से जुड़े हुए हैं और बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक के ऊपर आज बात होने वाली है, व्हाई स्टडी जैनिज्म। देखो, जैनिज्म एकेडमिकली भी स्टडी किया जाता है और आज हम देखें तो बहुत सारी ऐसी यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं जो जैनिज्म के कोर्सेज भी ऑफर करती है। पर इतने साल से जिन्होंने एकेडमिक फील्ड में सेवा दी है और जिनको एकेडमिक फील्ड ए टू जेड मालूम कह सकते हैं, वैसी विदुषी आज हमारे साथ जुड़ी है। तो मैं उनका स्वागत करता हूं जैन टॉक्स के इस प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर और बहुत बहुत उनका धन्यवाद करता हूं जैन टॉक्स की ओर से कि इन्होंने अपना अमूल्य समय जैन टॉक्स के लिए निकाला। प्रियदर्शना मैम, वेलकम टू द जैन टॉक्स।
Yes.
Yeah, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have unmuted myself.
Yeah.
I'm not able to see myself on the whole screen. I have to view.
Can you see it now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I cannot see all the participants. I can see only 5.
Yeah. Actually, it's a webinar, so you won't be able to see everyone, but I will be there with you.
Okay, yeah. Fine. So we'll begin the talk.
Yeah.
मोक्ष मार्गस्य नेतारं भेतारं कर्म भूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्व तत्वानां वंदे तद्गुण लब्धये, वंदे तद्गुण लब्धये। मोक्ष मार्ग का नेतृत्व करने वाले, समस्त कर्मों के विनाशक तथा विश्व के समस्त तत्वों के ज्ञाता ऐसे वीतराग प्रभु को वंदन। उन्हीं की आज्ञा में विचरने वाले समस्त त्यागी गुरु भगवंतों के चरणों में कोटि कोटि श्रद्धा सुमन। And dear Neil Shah and Ramesh Bhai and all the other participants of this webinar, I wish you all a very good evening and Jai Jinendra to one and all. And I'm thankful to the Jain Foundation for this invitation. And at the outset, I would like to acknowledge with humility for the invitation they have extended to me. And I assure you it will be a very fruitful, insightful evening. Okay, yeah. So at the outset, first of all, why do we need to study Jainism? So what all I would be covering in this topic today is why, when, how, and where of Jain studies. First of all, what is Jain studies? When we compare Jainism with the world religions, one second, no, there's a problem at my end over here, which I need to fix up.
No problem, ma'am.
Yes, yeah. Got it. So when we look at Jainism, like for example, today's Speaking Tree article, which was talking about, there was an article in the Times of India Speaking Tree column, and the person, the scholar A.K. Merchant or so, he was giving references of sacrifice in all religions, whether it was Hinduism or Buddhism or Baha'i or Islam or Christianity. But unfortunately, you will never find Jainism in such articles. So Jainism does not figure in world religion scenario. When they talk of world religions, of course they'll talk of Jainism. But when people refer to religious studies, they very solemnly ignore Jainism. So first thing is, we all Jain scholars or students at our end, we need to be more vibrant for the world at large to take cognizance of Jain philosophy. Now, why the world is not taking cognizance of Jain philosophy is because we as Jains have failed ourselves. How the Islam, how the Muslims and how the Christians, or even the majority of the worldwide Hindus or Sikhs, they take their religion before that. But we have put ourselves before our religion. We are using our religion to promote ourselves, whereas they are allowed, they're allowing themselves to be used to promote their religious studies. So this is one very big gap that I see, where Jain studies are suffering. First thing is, okay. Second thing is, we do not know how to promote Jain studies. There are so many Jain institutions offering Jain studies, but why of late, not of late, we see 10 years ago, there were so many Jain institutions where they were lacking either a good student strength, or they were on the verge of closure. The very famous Parshnath Vidyashram Shodh Sansthan, for that matter, which was very vibrant once upon a time, because there was there was a legacy of scholars supporting it. But of late, there is a dearth of Jain scholars, there is a dearth of Jain students. So somewhere we see, even though we are establishing Jain institutions worldwide, at present, if you see in foreign countries, the Jaina and all these people, Sulekh Bhai and ISJS and all, they're very active. And nearly 10, 15 universities they have established, or they are establishing Jain departments. But who is going to teach Jainism over there? Not the Jains. Can you imagine a Christian teaching in a Muslim university Islamic studies, or can you imagine a Muslim teaching Christian studies? They will not be able to do justice to it. So what I'm telling is, the Jain religion was preached, established by the Kshatriyas, taken forward by the Brahmins, the Ganadharas, who were all Brahmins, and now it is stuck up with the Vaishya community. But if the Vaishya community does not do the needful and promote it, then definitely it is going to go in the hands of the other varna ashram, the fourth varna is there, you can very well understand. So, and second thing is, I see that in the Jain department, where I am heading the department in the University of Madras, we see many young Jain girls coming and studying. We don't see the boys coming and studying, because all the boys will either go for business, or they will be into that fat packages, multinational companies and all these things. So for them, business, that comes up priority. And secondly, we have our Guru Bhagwans who move from place to place, and whatever our spiritual dose, our religious dose, we go there and we get it from them. So we owe a lot to our Jain monks and nuns. It is because of them that our community is recognized as a non-violent, peaceful community. That cannot be debated. They have a definite role to play, and they are doing that role beautifully. But we as scholar, we as Shravak, we have failed ourselves. We have failed ourselves. We have not taken our religion forward. The Muni Bhagwans are doing their bit. But what we do is, see, I'm not criticizing the Jain community. I'm talking about why Jain studies and how Jain studies. I have to come to that. I'm just trying to build up the context in which I have to lead the audience. Okay. So if you take a Jain's ordinary Jain householder, you will see that every Jain, or when I say every Jain, I mean predominantly, is an institution in himself. He'll be either running a trust or a school or a college or a Goshala or a hospital. So much of philanthropic activity happening in the Jain community. So that I'm very proud of it. There's no debate about what the Jain community is doing. But when it comes to promoting Jain studies, I would say that we do not know how to promote Jain studies. I hope Neil will agree with me. That is why we see that our children are not aware of the deep concepts that are there in Jainism. Neither the world is aware of the concepts. Today, if I say, if I don't want to make tall claims and say that Jainism has solution to all the world problems, whether it is terrorism or environmental degradation or whatever it is. That's a fact. It goes without saying that for all the evils that man faces today, The solution is ahimsa, anekant, and aparigraha. So ahimsa can solve all the problems. Anekanta, non-absolutism, respecting others' viewpoints. That is more important. The tolerance that we need to learn in this intolerant world. And aparigraha, so much of materialism around. So these three A's, they cannot be debated. But how to promote them, how to teach them, how to take them to the world, that is a big challenge. So first of all, we need to tutor Jainism matching the international standards, matching the technology and everything. And instead of talking what we know, we need to go to the level of the students, the level of the audience, and then take them to the higher level. That is why Bhagwan Mahavir chose Prakrit over all languages. Even though Sanskrit was there, or they knew Sanskrit, they know the 72 arts and craft. There's nothing that a Tirthankar Paramatma does not know. But still, they choose Prakrit because it is in that language where they can connect with the masses. So here I would like to say something that all the Tirthankars, Nirvan Bhumi is the Samay Shikharji. And then if you see the, what to say, Talhati of Samay Shikharji, where our Acharya Bhagwans must have visited, must have stayed. And just let us imagine one soldier came to him, or one gardener came to him or came to them, came to the Guru Bhagwans at that time, 2000 years ago. I'm trying to trace where this downfall of Jain studies happened. So if a gardener went there, if a soldier went to him, or if a potter went to him, and the Acharya Bhagwans would have told him, I'm not telling they told him, would have told him that whatever you're doing, there is himsa in it. There is aram samaram in it. Now, that person, for his basic needs, he has to take up some profession, whether it is whether it is being a soldier or a gardener or a potter or a teacher or anything. Okay, so what must have happened is they must have told him that whatever you're doing, usme aram samaram hai. Like today also, if you go to any Guru Bhagwans, particularly the very rigid Stanakwasi community, they will say, yes, may be paap hai, is may be paap hai, is may be paap hai. So what would have happened in those times is people did not leave their profession, but they left Jainism because the Acharya Bhagwans could not relate with them or could not connect with them. And then we have 2000 years of invasions. So Jainism has suffered a setback. That is why all our Jain images were sent underground, all our Granth went underground, and so much of todfod, so much of tersness, what is happening today between the Hindus and Muslims and the other communities happened 2000 years. That is why Jainism has suffered a setback. And secondly, the real philosophy, the core philosophy of Jainism, which is very deep down in Kundakunda's literature, has been diluted. It was Kundakunda who restored Jainism 600 years after Mahavir. But later on, down the ages, it got diluted in the form of so many panth, so many gach, so many sampradaya, and we started identifying ourselves with the panth, with the sampradaya, with the gach, and we could not relate with the very deep Jain philosophy that Bhagwan Mahavir preached. So we have to talk more about philosophy than religion. And you know, when we teach in the department, we teach Indian philosophy also, and we teach all the world religions also. So Jainism is both a religion as well as a philosophy. So how you teach Jain religion is a different thing, and how you teach Jain philosophy is a different thing. So you have to very philosophize, you have to do philosophy to teach Jainism. Only then you can help people relate with it. First, this is the first thing that I would say. Second thing is, like, for example, in our department, in the Department of Jainology, we have 28 papers of Jainism, and we have full-time students, say 14 or 15 every year. And this year we'll be having 25 from 10 different countries. We have 100 students, at least 100 and 150 students from different departments who come and study the elective papers with us. Okay, and how to teach them Jainism is different, and how you teach Jainism to the Jains is different. How you teach Jainism to an atheist Jain is different, and how you teach Jainism to one who believes in Jainism is different. So all kinds of, it's a spectrum of people across. So we have to very methodologically, we have to apply so much of pedagogy in teaching Jainism. That is missing in so many institutions. That is why the Jain institutions are at a closure, or you're not able to attract students and all that. Okay, So very, very important. Second thing is, I would say, for what reasons we have to study Jainism? Why Jainism? So for that, I would say the first thing is, you all can note down. If you all are very patiently listening to me, please make down of the facts that I'm telling you. Whatever I'm telling you, not a single word is mine. Everything is borrowed from Jinwani. It is of Jinwani. Uh, yeah, it is of Jinwani. I'm not looking at the chat box. Sorry. So it is all from the Jinwani. Okay. First thing. Second thing is, uh, from if we ask any Jain from where you have come, they will say from Nigot. हमारी यात्रा कहाँ से शुरू होती है? निगोद से शुरू होती है. And we are in this Panchendriya Bhav, but forever will not be in the Panchendriya Bhav. We are definitely landing back in Nigot. We are definitely because out of Nigot we will be only for 2000 plus Sagaropam years. You can note down this number, 2000 plus Sagaropam. This, the reference for this is Dhavala and Pandavana Sutra. Dhavala in the Digambar tradition and Pandavana Sutra in the Shwetambar tradition. This is called as the Trasparyay. The Trasparyay will be only for 2000 plus Sagaropam, out of which 1260 Sagaropam is fixed for Devalok, for every Jeev, intermittently. And 740 Sagaropam is fixed for hell, for every Jiva. Okay, so if you see worldwide, there are so many people taking to religious things, but they're taking to religious things in a mithyatva way. So they are going to get lot of punya. With that punya, they're definitely going to land up in heaven. So no big deal about that. Okay, so heaven has never been the criteria or the priority for a young Jain or an old Jain or a sincere Jain taking up Jain studies. It is beyond Swarg and Narak and all that. Okay, so 1260 Sagaropam, Devlok Pakka, Aapka Hamara, 740 Narak Pakka, Aapka or Hamara. So 2000 is gone. Now this plus sign no is not even one Sagaropam. In that plus, we will be taking 48 births of human being. Usme se 16 male, 16 female, and 16 will be of neuter gender. Out of these 16, 16, 16, 12, 12, 12 will be a total washout. That means we will not be worthy of doing anything worthwhile. We will be only binding more punya, more pap, and going to Swarg Narak intermittently. Out of these 12, 12, 12, maybe we are born as a spastic or as a lunatic or in the Antarctic or as a sperm or an ovum and lost one human Tiryanj bhav. Okay, now 16, 16, 16, may say 12, 12, 12 gone. Remaining are 4, 4, 4. In these 4 births, you will have that reasoning, that rationality, that why study Jainism, how to study Jainism, and you will come closer to it. And when you come closer to it and you crack the nut, you get you crack mithyatva, you not mithyatva, you get rid of mithyatva, you get Samyak Darshan, you can escape this cycle of 2000 plus. Otherwise, once this 444 human births are also over, total 48 births are over, your 2000 plus is over, then definitely we are landing back in India. So the first thing is, why study Jainism is मिथ्यातम नाश वेको. मिथ्यातम का नाश करने के लिए हमें जैन स्टडीज को करना है. एंड what Jain studies, see, I'm not boasting of the department that I'm heading, but I'll tell you very modestly, I also did my MA, MPhil and PhD in Jainism. And the Jainism that we were teaching before studying Kunda Kunda and the Jainism that we teach after studying Kunda Kunda is totally two different. Previously, it would be only information and general, there would be too much of breadth, and the length and breadth of Jain studies we would cover. But once we have discovered this, discovered Kunda Kunda's literature and the very deep spirituality and the philosophy that is coded in his works like Samay Sar and Pravachan Sar and Niyam Sar and Dravya Sangra, and even if you take Acharam Sutra, I can interpret all the agamas from the Samay Sar point of view and tell you what exactly it is. So if you do not interpret Jainism the way it should be interpreted, the way Bhagwan has revealed it, and we interpret it the way we like it, then we lose track of things. We will not get Samyak Darshan. We will only be binding more punya, and then we'll go to Devalok. And after Devalok, all the punya, the fruit of punya is gone. And then definitely Dev Ekendriya Bhaya, or most of the Devtas will be born as Ekendriya Parya. So now I hope you understand the context in which I'm telling why study Jainism. The first thing is to escape from the transmigratory cycle. Second thing is how you will escape the transmigratory cycle when you understand that what reality is, what the core philosophy is, who the real self is. Only when you understand the self, you know the self, you be the self, you experience the self as it is. That is why Bhagwan never used the word Atma Gyan, Atma Darshan, Atma Raman for Samyak Darshan Gyan Charya. He could have used the word Atma Darshan is Samyak Darshan, Atma Gyan is Samyak Gyan, Atma Raman is Samyak Charya. He could have used it. But the concept of Atma, even though so many philosophies talk about Atma, but they may understand it differently, not the way it is. That is why Bhagwan said Samyak Darshan. Samyak Darshan of what? First of all, to understand Samyak Darshan, you should have Samyak Darshan. First of all, what is Samyak Darshan? We need to have Samyak Darshan. And that can come through only through deep studies of Jainism. So first thing is we have to understand is we have to be good listeners. But in the Jain community, we see that सब ट्रस्टी बनना चाहते हैं, सब नेता बनना चाहते हैं, सब लीड करना चाहते हैं, सब लीडर बनना चाहते हैं, कोई जैनिज्म को फॉलो नहीं करना चाहता। और जो फॉलो नहीं कर सकता है ना, वो टीच भी नहीं कर सकता। सो जो फॉलो कर सकता है वही रियल में टीच कर सकता है। और फॉलो कौन करेगा? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू बी अ गुड लिसनर, यू हैव टू बी अ सीकर। कैसे? मतलब आपको एक एग्जाम्पल दे देते हैं कि जिसको भगवान के दर्शन की लगन लगी है, रामकृष्ण परमहंस के पास कोई गया और उसने कहा कि मुझे भगवान के दर्शन करना है, तो उन्होंने कहा कि चलो कराता हूँ, और नदी में लेके गया और नदी में उसका सर डाला और फिर वो क्या हुआ? छटपटा रहा था। तो रामकृष्ण ने कहा जब इतनी छटपटाहट होगी ना तो भगवान के दर्शन है। जीवन जीने के लिए जितनी छटपटाहट होती है उससे करोड़ गुनी ज्यादा छटपटाहट अनंत, मतलब क्या बोले, मोक्ष का जीवन जीने की होगी ना तो उसका रास्ता खुलता, नहीं तो नहीं खुलता। So studying Jainism is a very, very serious affair. We take it as a passing affair. We take it as a casual affair. That is the problem. Okay. So what was I saying? Something in middle means Neil, you can always remind me of it. So
Sure, ma'am.
yeah. So the first thing is you have to be a seeker. You have to be a true seeker. Who am I? What am I? Why am I the way I am? So our Jain studies begin with 6 important questions. Who am I? From where have I come? Why am I the way I am? Where is real happiness? How do I realize the real happiness? So without this subjective inquiry, we cannot teach the students. Second thing is when the students come in the department for 1 month or 2 months, they are only asking questions. We encourage them to ask as many questions as possible. क्योंकि they come with all the wrong information. कि see, what I'll try to be specific because the time constraint is there. So when people come to the department, they say, oh, Jainism is a set of practices. Do this, do this, do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Eat this, don't eat this. Eat in the day, don't eat in the night. Okay, do this, don't do that. You will, आपका कल्याण हो जाएगा, मोक्ष हो जाएगा. Now I would like to ask a question over here. If you want to be an MBBS, how many Samaik you should do that you will be an MBBS? How many days of Ratri Bhojan Tyag you should do to be an MBBS? How many years of Yatra you should do to be an MBBS? Is there any connection between this and that? There's no connection. To be an MBBS, you have to enroll in an MBBS, in a medical college, study the course very systematically, the way it is taught with the discipline that is expected over there, and then only you can be a medical graduate. You cannot study science or you cannot study philosophy and become a medical graduate. But when it comes to Jainism, we see Guru Bhagwans and or leave Guru Bhagwans. We see Tirthankar Bhagwan. Oh, Tirthankar Bhagwan took Diksha, so we also have to take Diksha. Tirthankar Bhagwan took Salekhna, so we also have to take Salekh. Tirthankar Bhagwan did Upvas, so we also have to do Upvas. But I'll remind you of one very beautiful verse from the Bhagavati Sutra. It goes like this. Please, all of you note down if you want. Savane nane vinnane pachakhane ya sanjame ananhaye tave cheva vodane akiriya siddhi. First comes Savane. Savane means Shravan. When you listen, what happens? You get knowledge. Nane. Nane is Gyan. With Gyan should come Vinnane, that is Vigyan. That is spiritual science, soul science, Bhed Vigyan, enlightenment, self realization. That is Vinnane. That is Vigyan, Vishishta Gyan, accurate Gyan of the self and the non self. That Bhed Vigyan is Vinnane. So Samane should lead to Nane, Nane should lead to Vinnane. With Vinnane will come Pachakhan. When you realize that you are the self and aparigra is your nature, then only you will give up all parigra. Without realizing your aparigra nature, if you give up all parigra, that will amount to binding of good karma, and that will take you to heaven. Okay, so Pachakhane, then comes Sanjame. Then only with Pratyakyan will come the conquering of the five senses, Sanjame. After Sanjame will come Ananhaye. Ananhaye means all the influx of karma will be arrested. In that order only. Even if one you miss in the line, that the, the succeeding ones will not follow. Okay, so Savarne is listening, should lead to Nane, Nane should lead to Vinnane. After Vinnane, the Pachakane is Moksha Margwala Pachakane. Without Vinnane, that Pratyakyan is okay, good karma wala Pratyakyan, influx, Shubh karma ka influx wala Pratyakyan. And we think that this Pratyakyan will lead us to Moksha. This calculation we are making is a very wrong calculation. So after that Pratyakyan only comes the Sanjam, the real Sayyam, the way it should, Bhagwan has told, and then the influx of karma will be arrested, and then comes Ananhaye, then comes Vodane. Vodane means, what to say, Samvar आएगा आपका, Samvar आएगा, Nirjara होगी, Vodane is Nirjara, then the real tap happens. With Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, that Vinnane is Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan. After that only will be the tap. Without Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, you do tap, then it will lead to again the Shubh Karma ka Asrav. And we think that Shubh Karma ke Asrav se कर्म की निर्जरा हो जाएगी, बंद से निर्जरा हो जाएगी. ये हमारा रॉन्ग कैलकुलेशन हमारे जैन स्टडीज को परफेक्ट नहीं होने देता, हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग को परफेक्ट नहीं होने देता, और हम वहीं गोल गोल कोलू के बैल की तरह घूमते रहते. ओके, देन कम्स बोधाने तवे चेव, देन कम्स अक्रिया. अक्रिया मीन्स all our tirthankar bhagwans are in the akriya post. Kayutsarg mudra, gyata drishta akarta bhav. So Jainism is akartra. That's why all Siddha Bhagwan are doing nothing. Physically, mentally, verbally do nothing, but spiritually they are 100% doing what is, spiritually they are absorbed in what is to be done. So even though we are materially doing 100% of the things, spiritually we are all zero. And even though they are materially zero, they are spiritually 100%. So without understanding the nature of Siddha Bhagwan, what they are doing, we cannot understand who we are and what we are supposed to do and how we are to do. Then our studies of Jainism cannot be fruitful. Okay, so then comes Akriya. Akriya, when you master that Akriya, only then it is Siddhi. Siddhi is what? Accomplishment. You reach accomplishment. But what we do, oh, do this, you will get this. Do this, you will get this. So we are very careful about the Jain studies that we are offering in the department. And yes, I'm there with you. I know my time constraint. There are a lot of points that I have to discuss. At least 20 points I've jotted, and I've just completed 2 points. I've just completed 2 points. One was the 2000 plus, and second was this Savane Nane, Vinnane. Now, the third thing is we understand when you ask people why you want to study Jainism, they will say, I'm born in a Jain family, but I don't know what Jainism is. So I really admire such people who are very modest. They're telling that I'm born in a Jain family, but I don't know Jainism. ऐसे कितने लोग आपको मिलेंगे? बहुत कम लोग मिलेंगे. नहीं तो आप लोगों को ऐसे ही लोग मिलेंगे जो थोड़ा बहुत जैनिज्म जानते हैं और उनको लगता है हम बहुत जानते हैं. सो ऐसे लोगों के हम काम के नहीं हैं. जिनको लगता है कि हम बहुत जानते हैं, उनके लिए हम काम के नहीं. जिनको लगता है कि आई डोंट नो एनीथिंग, देन यू आर eligible, you are worthy, you are fit to know everything. But when you say I know everything, that means you are depriving yourself of knowing the higher things. So first of all, what to say? I know nothing. That is the beginning of wisdom. I know nothing. That humility, that vinay, that vivek is there. Only then you can progress on the path of Jain studies. Okay. Second thing I would like to say is I would like to talk from my example why I chose Jain studies. So when I was in my 12th standard, like other people, even I thought I should be a chartered accountant, I should be a medical graduate or whatever it is. Then I thought there are so many people, at least there were 10, 15 chartered accountants in my family. I thought 10-15 है, एक मैं रहूं तो क्या, नहीं रहूं तो क्या, मुझे नहीं करना जो सब करते. First thing. Second thing is, I had gone to a Guru Bhagwan, and there one medical graduate had come. And there was a conversation between the Sadhvi and the medical graduate. And the Mara Sahib asked her, "What are you studying?" And she said, "I'm studying medicine." So Mara Sahib said, "Why are you studying medicine? What will you do?" She said, "I will treat people. मैं उनके शरीर में रहे हुए रोगों का इलाज करूंगी." Then the Sadhvi said that even we are doctors. The Sadhvi ji said, हम भी डॉक्टर है. So that lady asked, how can you be a doctor? You are a nun. आप डॉक्टर कैसे हो सकते हैं, आप तो साध्वी हैं. तो उन्होंने कहा, आप शरीर का इलाज करते हैं, हम आत्मा का इलाज करते हैं. आत्मा में रहे हुए मिथ्यात्व, मोह, राग, द्वेष, कर्म, कषाय के रोगों को हम साफ करने के लिए इलाज करते हैं. तो हम भी डॉक्टर्स हैं. सो दैट डे आई डिसाइडेड इवन आई वांट टू बी अ डॉक्टर ऑफ आत्मा. So I did not become a nun like them, but I became a Swadhyai, and I can claim that I am a doctor of Atma. And this is what I would say. I put myself in the seat of Aryant Bhagwan. I'm not Priya teaching when I'm teaching Jainism. It is Aryant Bhagwan teaching through me. It is his Vani that I'm teaching, not a single word from our house we teach. So whoever studies in the department, they know how to teach Jainism. The methodology is more important than the studies. The methodology is more important. है ना. एक गाना लता मंगेशकर भी गाए और हम भी गाए तो बहुत मेथड में फर्क है. She knows the sargam and we do not know it. So she will sing and enchant people, and we will sing and we will shoo away people. So methodology is more important in Jain studies. So if the Jain institutions worldwide have access to this webinar, I would like to tell them that whether you are a Jain or a non-Jain heading a Jain institution, you should think that it is the Aryant Bhagwan's seat that you are occupying, and you have to discover the real Jainism and teach the Jainism the way it should be taught, and not the way you have learned it or you want it, or you have the fancy about it. So that you have to be very careful, because the Tirthankar Paramatma ki lineage has come down through Tirthankars. It has come down through Acharyas. So, so that tradition we have to keep up, we have to follow. Okay, so for that, first thing, we have to be very good listeners, and then we have to have the Tattva Gyan. We should have access to the real Jainism. For that, we teach the Shvetambar Agam, the Digambar Shastra, Srimad Rajchandra, Indian philosophy, the basics of Prakrit, language and grammar, nature cure, meditation, personality development, art of living, everything. It's a complete package in itself. You have internship, you have dissertation. It's a wonderful 2-year program with lot of field visits. We take them to the tours. At least 3 times we have been to all the Srimad centers. We have been to Madhya Pradesh, we have been to Karnataka, Kerala, Delhi, and all these places. So so it's a beautiful journey to be in the department. So I would say that पूर्णता के लक्ष्य से की हुई शुरुआत ही वास्तविक शुरुआत. First of all, you have to know what is Purnata. That should be your lakshya. Only then the real journey starts. Okay, so that is one thing. And yeah, next thing is that I want to tell is भगवान का समोशर, उनकी दिव्य ध्वनि में क्या आया? क्या ये आया कि तुम जैन कॉलेज चलाओ, जैन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चलाओ, तुम जीटो चलाओ, तुम ब्लड बैंक करो, तुम क्लॉथ बैंक करो, तुम बुक बैंक करो, तुम ब्लड बैंक करो? क्या कहा भगवान की दिव्य ध्वनि में? क्या? See, I'm not questioning all the things that are happening around. They are good, but not good enough to get rid of mithyatva. They are good to get punya, but is punya your lakshya or is purnata your lakshya? If Purnata is your Lakshya, then you should not be satisfied with just taking up to all these philanthropic activities and thinking that you are a true Jain and you're doing great Jain service. So in the name of Jainism, we are promoting our business organizations. So that is why we are not able to make an impression on our own children. We talk something and we don't practice that. Okay, I'm not boasting, but I will tell you, I will just teach you by an example. I told my husband and my daughter, I don't want your riches. I don't want anything. I don't want you to earn name and fame. I just want one thing from you. Please do this MA Jain studies. However difficult it is, please do it. So even though my daughter she was married in a Vaishnav family, she got the permission and she did the MA Jain studies. Even though my husband, he had his own business, I said, look, your whatever money you're going to earn through this business, not a single pie you're going to take with you. Not a single pie you're going to take with you. So what is it that you're going to take with you? Please think about it. So come and study in the department, know the Ratnatraya, know the deep core philosophy that Bhagwan Mahavir has taught. Please take that with you. That will give you more peace than your wealth. So I'm happy that they also did the MA Jain studies, and I'm very passionate about Jain studies. आई एम वेरी पैशनेट. आधी रात को भी आप बोलो उठ करके स्वाध्याय करो, जिनवाणी पढ़ो, पढ़ाओ. सो यू वॉन्ट बिलीव, आई अभी जस्ट रिसेंटली हम लोग नाना नानी बने एंड आई हैव अ 45-day old kid एंड एवरी डे वी आर डूइंग सत्संग. उसको हम जिनवाणी के अलावा कुछ सुनाते ही नहीं. उसकी लोरी भी पूरी जिनवाणी है एंड ऑल दैट, यू नो. सो एक बार वो जिनवाणी माता जो अगर आपको समझ में आ गई ना, आपने उसकी उंगली पकड़ ली ना, वो आपको चलना सिखाए. So Jainism, Jain studies is not a part-time affair. It's a full-time affair. So I always tell my children, my students, कि हमारे दो जॉब है. एक धर्म करना और एक धार्मिक रहना. धर्म की क्रिया अलग है और धार्मिकता वो अलग चीज है. धर्म आत्मा का स्वभाव है. अध्यात्म है वो धर्म है. ध्यान है वो धर्म है. ध्यान के अलावा हम जो भी करते हैं वो सब पुण्य की खेती है. अब ध्यान कैसे करना? Why study Jainism? We have to study Jainism to know ourselves, to be ourselves, to experience ourselves through meditation. Now, but when we ask people meditation, we ask them, what do you do in the name of meditation? Oh, we just sit, close our eyes, and we try to stop all our thoughts. We try to stop all our thoughts. Is stopping the thoughts meditation? Then, in that case, I'm sorry, friends, to tell you that if stopping the thoughts is your object, your understanding of meditation, then we are sowing the seeds to go to a paryay where you will get no mind, no thoughts. असन्नी भव में जाने की तैयारी हम कर रहे हैं. And when we get Keval Gyan after through meditation, that in that Keval Gyan we are going to cognize all the dravya, all the living and non-living, their minds, everything we are going to know it. So itne se thoughts you are not able to handle, how are you going to handle Keval Gyan? So when you try to stop your thoughts, you are sowing the seeds of Keval Gyana Varan Karma. आप अपने केवल ज्ञान में अंतराय डाल रहे हो. So meditation is important, but if you don't know the how and why of meditation, you end up binding more karmas. So Jainism studies is very important, which will tell you what reality is and how to realize that, how to experience that, and how to be that, and how to purify oneself and how to conquer oneself. So one right baby step you take in the right direction, your journey is in the right direction. But if your baby step is in the wrong direction, your goal fixing is not there, then we go on and on in the quagmire of the worldly cycle. So I think I've told you why we need to study Jainism. Now the question is, when do we study Jainism? When do we study Jainism? In our department, the students are from the age group of 20 to 70 plus. There's no limit for study of Jainism. भगवान के समोशरण में 8 वर्ष के आयवंता मुनि भी थे, तो 50 वर्ष के गौतम स्वामी भी थे. So age is only for the body, but for the Atma, which has been in transmigration, there is no age. Anybody, any graduate can study Jainism, at least in the Department of Jainology, University of Madras. अदरवाइज तो माँ के गर्भ से ही जैन पढ़ाई शुरू हो जाती है। जैसे ही बच्चा माँ के गर्भ में आता है, नमोकार मंत्र फ्रॉम द वूम टू द टूम पढ़ाई चलती रहनी चाहिए, है ना, क्योंकि यू नेवर नो कि कौन सी घड़ी आपकी अंतिम घड़ी हो जाए। और ये कोरोना टाइम में तो हम लाखों लोगों को जाता हुआ देखते हैं। क्या हमें जाने की तैयारी है? क्या हमें पता है हम कैसे जाने वाले हैं? हमारा अंतिम श्वास कैसा निकलने वाला है, क्या हमें मालूम है? क्या उसकी तैयारी हमें अभी नहीं करनी है? इसलिए आप आपका प्रतिक्रमण का पाठ देखिए, उसमें 12 अणुव्रत आपको सिखाता है कि कैसे जीना, और संलेखना आपको सिखाता है कैसे मरना। और उसके पहले सम्यक्त्व का पाठ आता है कि आत्मा का सही समझ, अरियंत देव गुरु का की सही समझ कैसे करना। तो आत्मा और परमात्मा की सही समझ होगी तो ही व्रत will be on the path which will take you on the path of moksha, and your sanlekhna will take you on the path of moksha. Otherwise everything will remain a ritual and you will definitely get lot of good karma. But is your objective getting good karma or going to a state of no karma? Okay, so that we have to fix. So what was I saying, Neil? Everything is clear? Track pe chal raha hai?
Yeah, it's going on.
हाँ.
So
So
you were covering that when to study Jainism.
हाँ,
So
when
you
to
were,
study Jainism.
yeah.
So age is never a problem. Any age you see, you should be always exposing yourself to Jain studies. I'll tell you my example. I'm at present currently running 3 international programs. For the past 1.5 years, not a single day when I'm not on with my online classes. We have done so many shivir, we have done so many workshops, seminars, lectures, and then we had this Aruga Bohi Labam program, and then we had this beautiful Parmagam honors course, practical Jainism, and I'm a student of this course, and I'm a teacher for at least 3 groups, and it's a beautiful program. Even though they focus on studying 30 Shastra of the Digambar tradition, beautiful. Whether it is Balbodh 1, 2, 3, Vitrag Vigyan 1, 2, 3, छह ढाला, द्रव्य संग्रह, समय सार, प्रवचन सार, धर्म के 10 लक्षण. There we have students from the age group of 10 से लेकर के 70-80 तक, 2,500 plus students studying 50 batches worldwide. And I'm doing the Friday evening Hindi batch, the Sunday morning batch, and then the Veperi batch. So it's a beautiful program. I would like you that those who cannot come to the department and study the studies with us, I would like to see them in my Paramagam honors class, and I'm very passionate about it. And I've sent this message to all of them also. And Swanubhuti Jain, who is the granddaughter of Hukam Chandji Bharal, she is heading this organization and she has founded this program, and we are a part of it. Second thing is Prakrit studies, 1 year of Prakrit studies conducted by Apabramsha Sahitya Academy and Research Foundation for Jainology. You can all log into these programs for more studies about Jainism with us. Otherwise, there are so many institutions worldwide offering Jainism, at least 10, 15 abroad, and at least 10, 15 in India, whether it is in Pune or Ladno or the Lal Bahadur Shastri University or the Mysore University, the Mumbai University, they all offer Jainism. But in Mumbai University, they have it as one unit. Mostly it is Indian philosophy, Western philosophy, and one unit is of Jain studies. Okay. And in our department, it is totally 28 papers of Jain studies. And one more thing that I would like to tell you is never take subscribed books for Jainism. Take the lectures, you go on the internet, you do your research, and you teach yourself, you help yourself. Self-help is the best help. That a teacher is one who only helps you to seek. If she makes you a seeker, then her job is done. The child will learn himself or herself. A teacher is does not one who spoon feeds. It just ignites that curiosity, that what to say, seeker nature in that student. Then the teacher should not stand in between the Jiva and Paramatma and move from there. If she or he is standing there, then it is her tall ego or his tall ego that is standing. But today, when we see that people go and study Jainism from one sampradaya, they feel they have to get hooked to that sampradaya. Whereas Jainism is aparigraha, where is there of question of getting hooked to somebody or something. It talks of complete liberation from everything. So when you get hooked to somebody or something and you lose sight of the higher thing, then Jainism again fails. So when I say when Jainism, jab jage tab savera, even on the deathbed, you can be a student of Jainism. Next, how to study Jainism. I think I've told you a lot. Methodology is more important. Study Jainism from an awakened guru. Study Jainism whose ego is not tall enough to stand between you and your spiritual goal. Okay, so like Kripalu Dev says, no, if you have searched the Sadguru, half of the journey has been done. आधी यात्रा पूरी हो गई अगर आपको सदगुरु मिल गए. And I'll give you my example. Before coming to the Jainology department, I studied in the Pathshala, and I owe so much of my growth to my Pathshala teacher, Divya Benji, who is in Agas Ashram now. And she was a thorough disciplinarian. And before teaching us Jainism, she taught us this shlok, which comes from Atma Siddhi Shastra. And I would like you all to take this with you. जे स्वरूप समझ्या बिना पाम्यो दुख अनंत समझाव्यू ते पद नमो श्री सदगुरु भगवत. यानी जे स्वरूप समझ्या बिना, इस आत्मा के स्वरूप को समझे बिना सिर्फ समझे बिना, पाम्यो दुख अनंत, मैंने अनंत दुख अनंत भवों में पाया, समझाव्यू ते पद नमो श्री सदगुरु भगवत. जिसने मुझे ये आत्मा का पद समझाया, उस सदगुरु को नमस्कार. She taught us this first, then she taught us Vipassana, and then she taught us Jainism. And when she taught us Jainism, एक गाथा में एक mistake भी है, she'll tell, go back to your place, do it perfectly and come back. So that discipline comes to us from our teachers. There are great teachers who have worked on us, and we owe all our, with all humility, with all pranams to them, I stand before you. And one more example I will tell you, that my dadi was illiterate. She did not know how to read the chain books, but she was very fond of memorizing things. She'll go to Guru Bhagwan's, she'll pick up a thing and she'll get the book and she'll memorize it and she'll give us the book to us and she'll say, please listen. And I'll recite it to you. You please listen. Whether it was Pachis Bol or Pratikraman or Bhaktamar, she read and memorized at the age of 60, 70. Then she would give that book to us, whether it was Badi Sadhu Banna or Meri Bhavna or Bara Bhavna and all that. And she'll tell, मेरा सुनो तुम लोग. तो उनका सुनते सुनते हमको अंदर में एंट्री मिलती. And we would read from the book and explain to her. Then she'll say, how nicely you're explaining. Then she'll say, how do you know all this? Then I would say, it is all written in the book. वहां से वो जो इंटरेस्ट लगा, तो दादा दादी नाना नानी घर में रहना बहुत जरूरी है. मम्मी पापा को फुर्सत नहीं है पैसे कमाने से, किटी पार्टी से, अपना जीवन जीने से, लेकिन दादा दादी नाना नानी घर में हो तो बच्चों के लिए रौनक अलग होती है. तो दादा के घर में हमें संस्कार मिले और नानी के घर छुट्टियों में जाते थे तो एक मामी जी मधुकर मुनि को फॉलो कर रहे, एक मामी जी लाडनू तेरापंथी का फॉलो कर रहे, एक मामी जी हस्तिमल जी का फॉलो कर रहे, नानी जी मंदिर का फॉलो कर रहे. तो चारों को ऑब्जर्व करने से हमें चारों का मिल गया. और इधर दादा के घर से मिल गया और टीचर से मिल गया, कितने लोगों से मिल गया हमें. लेकिन आज के इस माहौल में हम क्या बच्चों को वैसा सेटअप दे रहे हैं कि वो ले सके? हम उनके इर्द गिर्द क्या है, मटेरियलिज्म है, यूट्यूब है, टेक्नोलॉजी है, और वो जो मन चाहे सुन रहे हैं, तो वो बिगड़ेंगे ना. तो कहीं ना कहीं हम रेस्पॉन्सिबल है, हम उनको क्या दे रहे हैं. सो हाउ we have to start from the womb to tomb. You have to be very careful. You have to filter things, what goes to your children's minds and hearts and eyes and ears. नहीं तो पानी तो नीचे बहुत इजीली बह जाता है, उसको अपने सोर्स तक जाने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगता है. तो इसी तरह हमारी पांचों इंद्रियां नीचे की ओर ही जाएगी. उन पांचों इंद्रियों को अतीन्द्रिय सोर्स में लेके जाने के लिए बहुत पापड़ बेलने पड़ते हैं. इसलिए आप लोग सब सीरियसली जैन स्टडीज को कंसिडर करिएगा और कहीं भी पढ़िए, लेकिन पढ़ते रहिएगा. Never stop with Jainism. I'll tell you again my example. I did my MA, MPhil, PhD. I completed in 1997, but still I was not satisfied. The thirst was there in me. कि जे स्वरूप समझा बिना, क्या मुझे ये स्वरूप समझ में आ गया? नहीं आया, समझना है, समझना है, समझना है। इसीलिए मुझे यहाँ पर एक और गाथा याद आ रही है जिनवाणी की, समझ सार संसार में, समझू टाले दोष, समझ समझ कर जीवड़ा गया अनंता मोक्ष। समझ सार संसार में, सार क्या है संसार में उसको समझो, समझू टाले दोष, तुम समझ जाओगे तो सारे दोष टल जाएंगे। और समझ समझ कर जीवड़ा गया अनंता मोक्ष, सिर्फ हमारी समझ ही तो हमें ठीक करनी है, लेकिन हम क्या करते हैं, समझ को ठीक नहीं करते हैं, सब ठीक करने की कोशिश करते हैं। घर में फर्नीचर ठीक होना चाहिए, घर में सब लोग ठीक होने चाहिए, हमारा मेकअप ठीक होना चाहिए, हमारा मोबाइल ठीक होना चाहिए, सब कुछ ठीक होना, कोरोना ठीक होना चाहिए, लेकिन हमारी समझ ठीक कैसे हो? तो मैं आपको बता रही हूँ समझ। तो मैं कौन सी बात बोल रही थी नील बीच में? मैं आई जस्ट वेंट ऑफ ट्रैक।
Yes, yes. So basically, how to study Jainism.
हाँ वो तो है,
That,
लेकिन मैं कुछ बोल रही थी कि समझ को अपने को ठीक करनी है, तो कुछ बात मैं बता रही
so
थी अगर
actually आपने बताया कि आपके फैमिली से कैसे आपको अलग अलग जगह से अलग अलग संप्रदाय का आपको
हाँ
मिलता गया ज्ञान, एंड यस, उस रिलेटेड आप बता रहे थे।
हाँ, तो कितने लोग हम पर काम करते हैं और वो हमारी समझ को हम ठीक करेंगे ना, तो ही ये हमारा जो थर्ड आई है वो खुल सकता है। अब इसको रख करके मैं एक लास्ट बात बताना चाहती हूँ, शायद
जी
समय
जी
हो
मैम।
जाएगा,
हाँ
समय हो जाएगा। तो आप लोगों ने सब सिद्ध चक्र यंत्र देखा होगा, सिद्ध चक्र यंत्र, वो जो कलश में है ना, विथ
जी
ऑल द नमोकार मंत्र, विथ ऑल द नवपद एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, लेकिन ऊपर में दो आंखें होती है ना, दो आंखें होती हैं। वो दो आंखें हैं अपने स्यादवाद, अनेकांतवाद, नयवाद, लॉजिक की। बिना लॉजिक अप्लाई किए आप जैनिज्म को ब्लाइंडली फॉलो करेंगे तो वो भी ब्लाइंड फेथ है, वो भी मिथ्यात्व के काउंटिंग में आएगा। एक तो अन्य देवी देवता को मानना नहीं, और अपने परमात्मा को भी अपने मन के हिसाब से नहीं मानना, परमात्मा की आज्ञा के हिसाब से मानना। इसलिए आणाए धम्मो, आज्ञा में ही धर्म। और उस आज्ञा को समझने के लिए लॉजिक अप्लाई करना बहुत जरूरी है। जब वो दो आंखें अनेकांतवाद, नयवाद, स्यादवाद की जब हमारी खुलेगी, ये दो ये तीसरी आंख हमारी खुलेगी, वो अनेकांतवाद, नयवाद के लॉजिक को अप्लाई करने से, तभी जो है रियल क्या बोले, जैन स्टडीज से हमें जो लाभ मिलना चाहिए, रत्नत्रय का मार्ग खुलना चाहिए, वो तभी खुल सकता है। सो आई टोल्ड यू हाउ and where to do. I think that also I have covered. There are so many institutions, you join any institution, but see that the Sadguru is highly charged, his battery is charged, and he does not teach things according to his whims and fancies. He teaches things according to the lineage of Paramatma, the lineage of the acharyas, applying the logic, you also understand it. So this is what I wanted to share today, and that's it. Thank
जी
you.
मैम, it was a really very insightful talk. There are a couple of questions from our viewers and I would like to ask them if you permit.
Yeah, please.
We still have 5-7 minutes.
I'm
Yeah.
at your disposal for 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. So basically, first question came that how to search awakened guru.
Yeah, first of all, they say, when you're ready, the master will appear. When the disciple is ready, the master will appear. So you be ready, you seek, you search who you are, why are you the way you are. You will find the answers. First, you be ready, the master will search you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this sounds very easy, but I don't know practically how it will work.
See, I'll just tell you, 1997, I finished my PhD. PhD. I was not satisfied. I did in 2000. I did my Prakrit diploma. I was still not satisfied. Then I did few more courses, and then I landed up with this Parmagam thing. And now I know that now I don't have to go anywhere outside. Everything has fallen in my lap. So you have to keep seeking. Never be satisfied with what you have.
Right, right. Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over here, another question came that you are so much into practicing Jainism and Dhyan. So, can you tell us 2-3 short methods which we can practice in our day-to-day life, which can really help us to attain Samyak Darshan or
Yeah.
Ved Gyan?
See here, dhyan, you first, you want to meditate and observe Paramatma. Observe all the images. First, physically learn to sit like Paramatma with your spine straight in Padmasana. then try to practice silence, and then the Nasagra Drishti, all those things. Read Gyanarnav. Read Gyanarnav, read Dravya Sangra, and all these texts. See, more than Dhyan, Dhyan comes in the 11th step of Nirjara. Anshan, Avamodarika, all those things, Praishchit, Binay, Vaiyavritya, Swadhyay, then Dhyan. So Dhyan should always be preceded with Swadhyay. If your Swadhyay is 100% perfect, only then your Dhyan will be perfect. And if your Dhyan is perfect, the next step is Kayotsav, detachment with the body will be perfect. So more than Dhyan, you should be interested in Swadhyay. And in this Pancham Kal, we cannot perfect Dhyan. We can attempt perfecting Dhyan, but we cannot perfect Dhyan in this Pancham Kal. But if you begin now, then eventually in the next birth or so, you can perfect it and you can evolve spiritually. Okay, so Swadhyay is more important than Dhyan. Second thing is, supposing I ask you what is your name, do you meditate and tell me your name? Or it is there in your deep subconscious that you are Neil, you are Priya, you are so and so? You don't have to meditate. Okay, so meditation is not an activity that you sit and do. चलते फिरते खाते पीते उठते बैठते ध्यानमय जीवन होना चाहिए. As I'm talking to you, I'm doing ध्यान. What is ध्यान? I'm not the one who is talking. पुद्गल की पर्याय है. सिद्ध भगवान बोल रहे हैं क्या? नहीं बोल रहे हैं, तो मैं भी नहीं बोल रही. सिद्धा जैसो जीव है ना, मेरा जीव सिद्ध भगवान जैसा है. सिद्ध भगवान नहीं बोल रहे. सिद्ध भगवान क्या कर रहे? जान रहे, देख रहे. अकर्ता है, तो मैं भी ज्ञाता दृष्टा अकर्ता. मैं जान रहा हूं कि मैं बोल रहा हूं. मैं तो जानने वाला अलग है, बोलने वाला अलग. हो गया ध्यान. अब जो जानने वाला है वो जाननहार जनाय छे थवा योग्य थाय छे. केवल ज्ञान में, भगवान के ज्ञान में जो दिख रहा है वही हो रहा है. मेरे करने से नहीं हो रहा है. मेरा हाथ यहाँ पे हिल रहा है, इसमें भी 6 द्रव्य काम कर रहे हैं, मैं काम नहीं कर रही. मैं शुद्ध जीवास्तिका हूँ, जानना देखना मेरा काम. तो मैं सिर्फ जानने देखने वाला भगवान आत्मा हूँ. कुछ भी करने वाला, खाने वाला, बोलने वाला, लेक्चर देने वाला आत्मा मैं नहीं हूँ. पहले हमारा दर्शन, व्यू पॉइंट करेक्ट होना चाहिए. और फिर मैं नहीं कहती कि ध्यान नहीं करना चाहिए. ध्यान की बहुत जबरदस्त प्रक्रिया है. उसके लिए मुझे आपको 5 फिंगर्स के बारे में बताना पड़ेगा, जिसको बताने के लिए मुझे आधा घंटा चाहिए. तो और एक दिन आप रख सकते हैं क्लास, उसकी मैं बता सकती हूँ.
Sure, ma'am, no problem. So one another question that like in Shastra it is said that in 5th ara you can attain Samyak Darshan. Yes. So currently, can you tell us that who all have attained Samyak Darshan and they are present in today's time?
I'll tell you one thing. किसको सम्यक दर्शन है या नहीं है, कोई किसी का नहीं बता सकता. या तो केवली परमात्मा ही बता सकते हैं, या वो जीव स्वयं ही अपना जान सकता है. मैं आपका नहीं बता सकती, आप मेरा नहीं बता सकते. और अगर आप मुझे कोई पूछेंगे कि कोई है या फिर मुझे सम्यक दर्शन हो गया, कैसे पता चलेगा? वो तो जब होगा तो स्वयं पता. जैसे शादी किसी की हुई, कैसे पता चलेगा शादी हो गई? तो ऑटोमेटिकली पता चल जाता है ना. लड्डू खाया, कैसे पता चला? लड्डू का स्वाद आया. तो ऐसे ही कोई सम्यक दृष्टि है नहीं है, वो उस चक्कर में पड़ना ही नहीं है हमको. हमको तो शास्त्र वांचन, डीप जिनवाणी, आई विल से बिगिन विद समयसार प्रवचन, बिगिन विद आचारांग सूत्र, बिगिन विद तत्वार्थ सूत्र. रीड द कमेंट्रीज, read on your own, and then keep questioning. There are so many platforms. Don't get hooked to one particular person or place or thing, because if you get hooked to something, you are conditioning yourself. Then how you will evolve to a place where there is no condition? So इस चक्कर में नहीं पड़ना किसी को सम्यक दर्शन हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है. ये क्वेश्चन मैं आपका नहीं जवाब दे सकती, या देने का मेरा तरीका अलग है.
Yeah. So और एक प्रश्न आया प्रिया मैम. In Western country, different people comes and sometimes whatever they preach or they say, it is contradicting at time. So what to do? See,
Western philosophy में आप देखो तो again I will say something, that where Jain philosophy ends, the Indian philosophy begins. Other philosophies, where the Indian philosophies end, Indian psychology begins. Where Indian psychology ends, Western philosophy begins. And there is no end to that Western philosophy. And then one more thing is, the Westerners feel that it is they who have the philosophy and logic and everything. सो लाइक यू नो, अभी जैसे चाहे वो मटेरियल कल्चर हो या एक जो भी है, द वेस्टर्नर्स फील दैट इट इज दे हु कैन डिक्टेट थिंग्स टू द वर्ल्ड. But if India has to rise to a superpower, it is the Indian spirituality, the deep core secular Jain spirituality that will lead the world, not the Western thought. Already you see the Western thought is rejected in many avenues, or rather, the Westerners are trying to break the Indian culture and Indian uh, uh, context as such. So, very terrific times are ahead of us, and we all have to gear up to take things forward.
Yeah, ma'am. And I just want to add on that. Wants to know that many times Indian scholars comes to our country, as in Western countries, and sometimes what they preach that contradicts with other preacher. So how to deal with that?
Yeah, see, first of all, you have to understand that the Western scholars or philosophers they are teaching, they have a line of Western philosophers, whether it is Hegel, not Hegel, first comes Socrates, Plato, then Hegel, Kant, and Descartes, and so many other people. So they are Chadmasta. So they will be definitely ruling out the previous the precedent, and they'll be giving new concepts and ideas. So why just the Western philosophers? Even science. First they said that Pluto is a planet. Now they say it is not a planet. First they said that the Earth is round. Then they say Earth is flat or whatever it is. So they will keep evolving. They will keep telling new things. But Jainism comes from the word of mouth of Kevli Bhagwan, and all Kevli Bhagwans have preached the same thing. There will never be contradiction in Kevli Bhagwan's vachan. See, when it comes to, see, I have another talk in July on the 4 Anuyogas. There I'll be talking about Dravya Anuyog for Bhogilal Lerchand Institute of Indology. So there I'm going to touch upon this topic, that Jainism may, there is never contradiction. Whatever contradictions you see, it is in the practices. कोई बोलेगा कपड़े पहनो, कोई बोलेगा कपड़े मत पहनो, कोई बोलेगा मोमबत्ती ऐसे लगाओ, कोई बोलेगा ऐसे मत लगाओ, कोई बोलेगा ऐसे प्रतिक्रमण करो, वैसे करो. क्रिया में डिफरेंसेस है, बट जो कोर फिलॉसफी है उसमें कोई कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन नहीं है, कोई डिफरेंसेस नहीं. सो नमोकार, अच्छा मैं एक सिंपल एग्जांपल आपको दे देती हूँ. जो वेस्टर्न फिलोसफर्स कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट करते हैं, तो आप उनको ब्लाइंडली मत फॉलो करिए ना, आप अपना विवेक जागृत रखिए ना. आप जैनिज्म को डीपली पढ़िए ना, तत्वार्थ सूत्र पढ़िए. हम क्यों अपने शास्त्रों से अपन दूर चले गए? क्यों हम वेस्टर्न फिलोसफी को अपने ऊपर क्या बोले इन्फ्लुएंस करने देते हैं? तो दैट मीन्स वी आर नॉट ट्रू टू अवर ट्रेडिशन. सो इफ यू आर नॉट ट्रू टू योर मदर, योर मदरलैंड, योर मदर टंग, योर ट्रेडिशन, यू कैन नॉट बी ट्रू टू एनीबडी एल्स. सो वो कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट करेंगे तो आप उसको पूरे कॉन्टेक्चुअली देखिए, है ना. और अपने को गंधर्ववाद में भी एग्जाम्पल मिलता है. गंधर्व लोगों ने भी वेदों को अलग अलग तरह से इंटरप्रेट किया, तो उनको भी वो वेद कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी लगे. लेकिन महावीर ने अनेकांतवाद को रख करके बताया कि वेद में ये बात इस अपेक्षा से कही गई है और ये बात इस अपेक्षा से कही गई. तो आप अपेक्षा लगाओगे तो आपको कहीं कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन नहीं लगेगी.
जी जी मैम, यानी अनेकांतवाद का प्रिंसिपल हमें अप्लाई करना है,
Yes,
तो
yes.
उससे हमें आसानी हो जाएगी अंडरस्टैंड करने को. या थैंक यू सो मच मैम. देयर आर कपल ऑफ मोर क्वेश्चंस, बट आई फील those questions are will really take more time. I'll just mention the question. There is a question from Rajendra Kumar Jain Duggar. He's asking, we are not expert on Jainism, we are working to build Jain museum. Please guide us from A to Z, that how to start step by step in this new way of life by youngsters, so that we can show them from Adinath to Mahavir. Yeah, so he wants guidance on how to build a museum.
I'll request Rajendra Dugad. I know him personally, and he is the Adhyaksha of Tamil Nadu Mahamandal, and he's doing terrific work for the Jain community. I'll request him to study Jainism with us for 2 years and then take the museum work. He will do it fantastically.
Great, great.
That is, I'm ready to help him for 2 years. But he has to empower himself, only then he can empower the society.
Yeah, ma'am.
And there are models of museums. You will have to look at least 5-10 models and then build up on a model and then start the work.
Yeah, yeah, ma'am.
Two things that I would like to tell him at this juncture. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm in touch with him. He knows me.
Great, great, ma'am.
Yeah.
So here we end our today's talk. I am very delighted and happy to have Dr. Priyadarshana Jain on our 106 जैन टॉक्स। अब तक हमारे साथ 140 जितने स्पीकर्स जैन टॉक्स पे आए और उन्होंने अलग अलग विषयों के अंदर अपना अपना वक्तव्य दिया, अपने विचार रखे। सो आज वैसे ही एक डिफरेंट टॉपिक के ऊपर टॉक था और एकेडमिकली भी जैनिज्म को स्टडी क्यों करना चाहिए, कहाँ कहाँ कोर्स चलते हैं वगैरह की जो हमें इन्फॉर्मेशन आज मिली है। डेफिनेटली मैं सभी व्यूअर्स से कहना चाहूँगा कि आप इसके अंदर इंटरेस्ट लीजिए और जैनिज्म पढ़िए और इसको और आगे बढ़ाइए, क्योंकि 1 से 2, 2 से 4, 4 से 8 ऐसे करते हमें ये चेन को बढ़ाना है। यस मैम, डू यू वांट टू से एनीथिंग?
एक लास्ट बात मैं कहना चाहती हूँ। एक साध्वी भगवान थे, वो हमारे पास पढ़ने के लिए आए, तो उनका यही रिमार्क था कि हमें ये जैनिज्म फॉलो करना है। हम ये कौन सा जैनिज्म फॉलो करें? दिस इज सो लिबरेटिंग एंड सो रिफ्रेशिंग, एंड अदर वन इज ऐसे लगता है कि एक भार है। सो प्लीज आप लोग रियल जैनिज्म डिस्कवर करिए, अपने
जी
लिए करिए, अपने कम्युनिटी के लिए करिए।
जी मैम, थैंक यू सो मच। तो इसी के साथ मैं सभी दर्शकों को गुड बाय करना चाहूँगा और आपसे कहना चाहूँगा कि अगले शुक्रवार फिर हम मिलेंगे। हमारे साथ लखनऊ से डॉक्टर विजय कुमार जैन जुड़ने वाले हैं, जो कि बहुत ही सुंदर अनेकांतवाद का एक डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव, अलग अलग रिलीजन में भी वो किस तरह प्रेजेंट है उसकी बात करने वाले हैं। तो सभी जुड़िएगा अगले फ्राइडे को डॉक्टर विजय कुमार जैन के टॉक के अंदर। सो इसी के साथ हम आज के सेशन को विराम देते हैं और विराम देने से पहले हर बार की तरह जगत के सभी जीवों का कल्याण हो, जगत के सभी जीवों का मंगल हो, जगत के सभी जीव हमारे मित्र है, कोई भी हमारा वैरी नहीं, इस भावना के साथ प्रार्थना। अणु परमाणु शिव बनी जाओ, अखा विश्वनु मंगल थाओ, सर्वे जीवो मोक्षे जाओ। कामेनि सब्व जीवे सब्वे जीवा खमन्तु मे, मित्ति में सब्व भूवेषु वैरम मज्जन केणै, सर्वथा सौ सुखी थाओ, पाप ना कोई आचरो, राग द्वेषति मुक्त बनीने, समता सौ समाचरो। सभी को प्रणाम। जय
थैंक यू
जिनेन्द्र।
नीम, थैंक यू जैन फाउंडेशन, थैंक
थैंक
यू
यू सो
एवरीबॉडी।
मच मैम।